Good morning, North Dakota! Chip Wanamaker here with NoDak News, broadcasting live from our studio in Chokecherry on this Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. Starting with everyone's favorite icebreaker topic, the weather. Spring showers are on the radar for this afternoon. Make sure to grab an umbrella as you head out the door because it could be an absolute soaker. We're talking 2 to 3 inches with the potential for flash floods in low-lying areas. Conditions could lead to a wet and wild afternoon commute. Speaking of commutes, it's time for your local traffic report. Maintenance issues with Chokecherry's Ferry Express has caused delays for you ferry riders. Might be a better day to jump in the car or ride the Flickertail rails. The city would like to remind everyone that Flickertail passes are half off this month, so there's no need to jump the turnstiles at any of the transit stations. Now for your news. The city of Chokecherry celebrated its 70th birthday last night in style with a 21-minute fireworks show that impressed Chokecherryans and visitors alike. The festivities turned deadly, however, after party-goers fired live ammunition rounds into the air from city rooftops. Numerous people were struck by stray bullets and multiple deaths were reported. Police advised residents not to shoot guns from their rooftops ever again for any reason whatsoever. Sort of a catch-all, state the obvious warning there, but okay. Speaking of Chokecherry's finest, we asked Captain Rollo of CPD's Homicide Unit what he thought of Mr. Gleck's threat yesterday to turn Friday into Carnage de Mayo. Captain Rollo said they will have extra boots on the ground this coming weekend and has agreed to be a special guest on our show this Friday to talk about it. Chokecherry International Airport expects a large dip in visitors this summer after near-record travelers over spring break. Airport authorities contribute the likely upcoming decline to frugal travelers gearing up for a looming recession, as well as an uptick in murders in the city, many already considered to be quite violent. In response to a possible dip in travel, the state's tourism board is considering promotion of a new travel trend called forbidden travel. Made popular by true crime podcasts, visitors are starting to travel to dangerous parts of the country to see crimes being committed firsthand. If legislature doesn't approve funding for forbidden travel advertisement, the tourism board is hoping a new roller coaster at the Rough Rider theme park will help bring more travelers in. We expect to hear more about this exciting new roller coaster and when it'll launch by tomorrow's show, so tune in for that. Now turning to sports. The Chokecherry University Ladybugs D1 hockey program picked up a huge offseason transfer from the UND Fighting Hawks of Grand Forks. Indy Knutson, UND's star center, cited irrevocable differences between him and his coaches at UND. We can only speculate what that could be, but after Knutson carried the Hawks to the Frozen Four last year, we can only hope that he can do the same in Chokecherry and turn the Ladybugs into a national contender. The Ladybugs schedule was also just released, and they'll have some tough matches this upcoming season, including games against UND, Bemidji State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota Duluth. Wait a second, who's playing that music? Is that her? Looks like today's special guest has arrived in studio. We'll introduce her after these messages from one of our sponsors. The Wealth Theater in downtown Chokecherry is pleased to present Black Gold in North Dakota, a new off-Broadway show that relives the wild and wacky stories of North Dakota's oil booms. Fan favorite tunes includes What Happens in Williston Gets Buried There, and A Roughneck's Guide to Line Dancing. Tickets go on sale today, so head to your local box office or purchase them online so you don't miss out on the city's most talked about off-Broadway shows. Black Gold in North Dakota. Use the code NoDak3 and take 3% off your total ticket price while supplies last. It's time for our interview with a special guest who goes by the name Hype Chick. Hello, is it okay if I call you Hype C? And do you mind turning that music down just a little? Hype C, 36C, Chick, Chicklet, whatever you want to call me, sweetheart. It's fine with me. Sorry about that. I like to crank up the tunes when I'm flipping. Yeah, so tell me more about that. You're a professional sign spinner? Is that right? You ever seen this art form before? Can't say that I have. Watch this. For our listeners out there, Hype C just opened a large duffel bag with what appears to be a bunch of cardboard signs with different promotional items on them. Let me look at you for a second. Oh yeah, I've got just the sign for you. I don't know if you can hear that over the mic, but wow, Hype C is really spinning this sign around like a whirling tornado inside the studio. Let's see, this sign is advertising the Dakota Club. What kind of club is that, like a nightclub or something? More like a gentleman's club, which is why I picked it for you. It's important to be able to size up people walking or driving by to see what sign's the most appropriate for them. I can assure you that's not appropriate for a family man like myself. Fair enough, how about this one? Looks like the Snowflake Casino. No, I do not gamble either. What are you, square? Anyway, most sign spinners promote one business, but I'm an entrepreneur. I contract out to the top businesses in town and take my signs and boombox to wherever the hottest action is. Last night, that was in the Grand Plaza for the parade and fireworks. And you can make good money doing this? Sign spinning? Nothing like a hottie in a tight shirt with spinning skills to get people looking your way. Shoot, I get almost as much in tips as I do from the actual businesses I'm promoting. I'll set up outside a bar, hotel, or club, and patrons are walking by with all this fresh cash and they're just throwing it my way. Isn't it dangerous being out on the streets like that all by yourself? They don't refer to this city as rough and tumble are us for nothing, but I can hold my own. Don't you worry your cute little cowboy hat none for me. Well, that's good at least, and I hear you competed in the 16th Annual World Sign Spinning Competition earlier this year in Las Vegas. How'd that go? Could have been better, but still finished in the top 10. I know what I have to do to win, and I'll get them next year. Working on some new original tricks that'll put me at the top. And what is it that makes someone a championship level sign spinner? Takes style, dance skills, hand-eye coordination, and a lot of grit. Doesn't hurt to have killer looks either, you know what I mean, darling? Well, this has been quite the fascinating conversation. Where can folks see you perform? Oh, I'll be around town. Folks know where to find me. You can also follow me on social, username HypeChick701. See you out on the streets sometime, honey. You behave yourself now. Of course I will. And tomorrow we'll have Flip Kenny on the show. Despite his first name, he's not a professional sign spinner, but rather a popular elementary school teacher who was recently forced into early retirement at the end of this school year. He's taken what could be a low point for most people and turned it into an inspirational kids' music act online. We'll find out more about Flip and his story tomorrow. On to the self-defense tip of the day. Today's tip is the classic groin kick. That's right, the groin kick. If someone's coming at you from the front, a well-placed groin kick may deliver enough force to paralyze your attacker, clearing a path for your escape. In order to perform a proper groin kick, you must first stabilize yourself as best you can. Next, lift your dominant leg off the ground and begin to drive your knee upward. Next, extend your dominant leg, drive your hips forward, slightly lean back, and kick forcefully, making contact between your lower shin or ball of your foot in the attacker's groin area. It's important to whip your leg out while you lean back to maximize the connection. One alternative, especially if your attacker is too close, is to thrust just your knee toward the groin. Make sure you're stabilized though so you don't risk falling over. It's time for our daily dose of Sven and Oli. Sven asks Oli, "How's that new cow there?" "Great," Oli replies, "except when I pull her teeth she farts." "Did you get her down in Wisconsin there then?" Sven asks. "I did, how'd you know?" "My wife's from there." Oh geez, I hope my wife's not listening. Well, that's a wrap on today's show. This has been Chip Wanamaker with NoDak News. You stay legendary, North Dakota.